welcome to episode number 135 of the Eavesdrop podcast, award-winning Eavesdrop podcast. We have a man, Skyler, FoRePLayy Johnson, legendary Call of Duty player, day one dude, Call of Duty 4 through Call of Duty...
Stopped Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2, professional player, co-founder of Envy, co-founder of the Envy House. Did you ever look up House of Envy on YouTube?
No.
Don't do it.
Oh, it's embarrassing?
Well, it's not you guys. It's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't bring it up, Matt. I don't want your For Me page to change. You played college football.
Yep.
You're a big dude.
Yep.
You were a big dude.
Really big dude.
Yeah, really big dude. Let's start from the beginning at the top of the list, man.
Yep.
Who are you today?
Oh, man. Just building. I'm Bob the Builder. I'm out here trying to build everything. A man that lives on the past a lot, right? Looking up to the people around me, and I see us all building in the side. Owning some companies, running some things differently. Saw some gaps in the market. Trying to fill those gaps as well.
Yeah, love that. A lot of people see them and they just assume that somebody else will do it, not realizing that, yo, dummy, I don't think anyone else has seen it, homie. You're that guy. The guy that you're thinking about, someone that's gonna do is like when people say somebody should, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah. And
maybe no one else has seen that hole. So take advantage. So where does your story begin?
Probably 2008, or before that I was playing football my whole life, right? I thought I was going to be an NFL player.
Where are you from originally? Give me the details, man.
All right. So Denver, Colorado. I was living in Colorado at the time, and grew up there. My parents moved me to Olmsted Falls, Ohio, my junior year of high school by myself to go play football because they had big opportunities. Ohio's a football state. You got to get out there. So I was living in a hotel. I don't even know if it was legal. My mom was paying the hotel every month. And I was playing football. They eventually got out there. And it was the best decision ever because it's like you work out different, you train differently. It was like real deal. Then I missed my family and friends back home too much in Colorado. Finished the senior year there. And then went up to, I got a couple offers, Cincinnati, Kentucky, and Louisville, I think were my 3 major D1 offers. So I felt like I was the man a little bit. But I ended up going to a junior college because I had a little bit of an ego for football too. I was like, oh, I need to get to Miami. So my real father played. So I thought I was going to do something there. And then I went to Brainerd or Central Lakes Community College up there for a little bit. I did really well. I got like what their version of like an all-state is. And then I got hurt, shattered my ankle.
Ooh, wow.
Like a spring training drill, like these frog hops. So like, for example, like you would jump over someone else and then kind of roll, and it was old school football training. I doubt they even do that anymore. We were doing that, and then that's where the weight came on. That's why I started playing real video games, right? Like in high school, I dabbled on SOCOM. Yeah. So I remember
SOCOM. That was SOCOM was my first introduction to multiplayer.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yep. That was it. I didn't play as much because obviously high school was staying up too late and things like that. But then outside of that, what was it? 2008, I picked up Call of Duty, right? It was like 2007, the beta. Started playing that beta, fell in love with the M4A1 or whatever it was. It wasn't the M4. What was it, M4? Oh, yeah. What was the
R700?
What was the AR that was ripping kids on the beta?
M16.
What was the
M4?
it the M4? Yeah, it was the M4.
M4.
So you were using the M4A1 sniping. I was using the M4 just blazing, blitzing everyone on that beta.
Yeah,
that gun was
crazy. We got our asses beat. Like for the whole first week, I remember it was me, Diesel, Jay, maybe Carlton or somebody else. We started playing Call of Duty 4. And we got a scrim, and the way that back then you got scrims on the beta was to like all join at once.
Yep.
Like 1, 2, 3, like join like via text or some shit. And we got our asses beat by Optic Nerve, who at the time was with somebody else, and we got our asses beat really, really hard. And I'm like, what the hell? And I wasn't back in the day. I was still coming off of Call of Duty 2, in which I was told in a lobby that professionals only use iron sights on their snipers. So I wanted to sort of carry that on to Call of Duty 4, and I wasn't putting red dots on there. And I was like, oh, you're a noob if you know. I was I don't know why I made things harder for myself. Like it's like, oh, this is what I do. This is my style. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But my favorite weapon back then was also the M4, silenced because of that little whistle that came out of it. But you couldn't put an attachment. You couldn't put the iron sight or the red dot on it. If you were able to put the red dot plus that, you would have been unstoppable.
What was the rain map? That map with the
M4? No, it's not.
Oh, this is embarrassing. We're OGs and we can't remember you know that map.
Overgrown. It's not overgrown.
Oh, we're gonna have to get help on this.
No, we're not looking it up. We're not looking it up.
Right.
But move on while we keep it. So continue. You were using the M4. You started playing. So what? So you did the jumping drill. Which ankle? Left or right?
Right.
Your right ankle.
Yep. Snapped and recovery. And honestly, it kind of taught me a lot about my discipline. How lazy I was. Oh man.
Downpour.
In the clutch while we're talking. All right. Taught me a lot about discipline. Like how lazy I have to be. I didn't rehab. Like it was over. Football is literally over. So I thought my life was over. Went through.
That young.
Yeah. Thought my life was over. I didn't really have any skills. Didn't know what I was doing. I was going to school for like sports science, trying to learn about like supplementation. But I was in like year 2. You know what I mean? So it wasn't anything crazy there either. And then picked up video games and then started out. You know how competitive you are, right? Like in your life, you have to be best at everything. So I heard there was a pro circuit coming up. And it was like, hey, we have till March to get ready. I didn't know anyone on like really anyone in gaming as well. So I started playing pubs. I picked up a kid named Stainville. He was just playing on Wet Work.
Tosh Magruder,
yeah. He was playing.
Fucking legend.
He was playing Wet Work, and I was like, that kid's really good. I'm going to get him.
Wet Work's the ship.
Yep, the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was running around with the P90 jug, silenced, I think. And I was like, all right, well.
See, jug, I can never get behind. I've never put that shit on ever.
You say that because you're a sniper, though, right? Because you were sniping at the time.
Yeah.
And that ruined a lot of good moments for you.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
So then, same thing, man. Picked up another kid that was playing Halo 2 at the time. This kid named Fierce, Danny, and another kid named Michael, Nemesis. And then we were the only team in 2008 for that pro circuit to stick together the whole year. So we went 4th, 3rd, 1st, and then we went to national championship and played 2nd against like Stro was there, with Unreal Talent and his team.
UT, yeah.
Yep.
Who was? Do you remember the roster?
For Unreal Talent?
Yeah.
It wasn't any of the OGs that he had. It was like Glaucoma, and it wasn't the same Unreal Talent.
I remember this one dude from UT who was a really, really, really good player. And for the life of me, I cannot remember his fucking name, and I wish I did.
I think I know who you're talking about. And was he really good with the SMG MP5?
Nah.
Oh, no?
No, it's this white dude. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I wish I did.
Yeah.
I played with him for like a couple of weeks. He was good people.
Yeah. So that was, Then first year, like MLG season 1, then I kind of knew I had something. Told everyone I'm going to be a gamer. No one talked to me anymore. My family's like, you know what I mean? We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And then that yet again rolled into 2009 season. Same thing.
How old were you at the time?
Well, at the time, been like 22.
22. So at the time where you're supposed to be on your own, start to, become an adult, get a job, get your own place.
The classic story.
You chose to be a gamer. So what did your parents say about that? Like, what were they?
How you gonna live? Yeah. And back then, the money.
Yeah. How were you gonna live?
This is a funny story. Is we would hit up. So if you even go to Game Battles page like today, you'll see on there I have like 300 tournament wins because that's how I paid my bills. Nobody knows, right? Like it wasn't like, dude, you would go into a match like Tosh and I would sign up for like hardcore MP5s on Bog. Right? Knew nothing about it, but we have to win because you got to order food. And then we'd hit up Sundance and Nexi, not knowing my relationship would go into what it is at Sundance. Be like, hey, could we get paid early for this? They would send out a check. So we have like 100+ tournament wins on these random tournaments, man. Crazy. Yeah. And then,
what were those checks like back then?
Oh man, $400, $300, $500.
So was it like on a daily basis, like how much money were you making? And I'm not saying paid, but making and got paid later.
I'd probably say if we had a 2 to 3K month, we were very happy. Very happy.
Okay.
And those didn't happen.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be happy? Yeah,
but that was split between two people.
Okay,
like Tosh
so
and I.
$1,500 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, still doing what you love to do, like it's worth it to some people.
And then we would always talk because the payouts for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th weren't it. Like you would get credits back.
Yeah.
And you ain't doing anything with GB credits.
No.
You know what I mean? So like we would say, there's always people that are playing that aren't getting those W's. You know, but if we lost, we'd get so pissed at each other because then we eventually moved together in 2010. Yep. So
All right, so tell me that transition, right? You're in Colorado at the time now, right? When you started playing, or
Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Playing football, yep.
playing football, but then you injured yourself and you stayed there.
Yeah, stayed there until I ended up meeting Stro, and then
Well, tell me about that.
yeah, so met with Hastro at the 2008 national championship, 2009 national championships, I think, and then he was like, "Hey, I really see potential in Envy. I really want to like get behind."
So
this
you
thing."
wait.
Yeah.
So you were Envy before Hastro was in Envy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me the story, man. Tell me the story.
So yeah, Envy, the whole Envious was built off my iPad. Like I had an iPod, the old school one, and I was going through thinking of team names. Envy was originally called Flatline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a Flatline. I think I didn't do that one. And we ended up, or I just love the name Envious, but spelled obviously normally, and then switched to the US, and then the rest was history. We signed up for the whole pro circuit. We competed for 2 years, and then actually 3 years. And then 2010, Stro was like, hey, or actually 2009, Stro said, I want to be a coach. We had a big problem with Modi and myself. I was supposed to go to the national championship for the following year. They wouldn't let me back on the roster.
Why?
Because back then, well, I think it was just weird, and they were pretending like, no offense, like MLG, they were just pretending like they had these strict rules, and they wouldn't let me back on. Because you had to like submit your roster within 30 or 60 days. And then Modi couldn't go. Something happened in his family. And, you know, Modi, shout out Modi.
Yeah, shout out Modi.
Yeah. And then Stro filled in that 2009 national championship. I think they ended up getting second. And what sucks is we lost to Extravagant.
Rambo and the boys.
Yeah, Rambo and the boys. And no disrespect to Rambo, but we online, it was a different story before going into that event.
Yeah.
And they would have got dusted. They know that.
Online?
Oh yeah, we were dusting everyone, man, like legit, because they switched from 3 stun to 1 stun.
Mm-hmm.
Once you could actually not be frozen for 15 seconds or whatever. It would have been a cake national championship in my opinion. So that's why 2010, when we played Extravagant again, we made sure we got the W, because I was like pretty pissed off that one. I was like, yeah, this was personal now.
All right, so paint the picture for me. Like, where are you living? Where, like, what led to the Hastro meet for him to be like, yo, I see potential in Envy?
Yeah, he just randomly, there was a call, man. He's like, hey, I want you guys to come down and start streaming on Justin TV. And we were like, what's that? You know, and then he's like, I see potential for sponsors. And he stepped in as a big brother. You know, he stepped in as a big brother, and he wanted to kind of take the team to the next level. So he got us our first sponsorship with Triton, second sponsorship with Oakley.
To this day, I swear to you, if he calls me right now, it's him with Tritons and Gunners. Remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Like, to this day, that's his picture. That's always been Hastro's picture on my phone.
You know, there's unreleased video of all of us doing that, looking goofy.
Yeah.
My hair is like down to here. I'm wearing a headband.
Yeah.
Hygiene
Nah.
probably.
No. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So then we all moved down to Greensboro, North Carolina, got in this team house. And we were already doing the team house thing. It was before people were really talking about it. We kept it kind of quiet. Why do we want people to know our internet? You know, but and then it got weird when people were IP checking. They were like, why is there 4 IPs? It's like, we all live together. You know what I mean? And back then, the forums, everyone started chatting about it. So then 2010, he was coach / manager, and he was just scooping up sponsorships, supporting the house. And we thought we were the next big thing, real deal.
Hustler.
Yep. And then that's when I think there was a good turn that's when we picked up Proof, Sharp, finally made roster changes, got into that whole thing, and 2010 kind of breezed through. That's where I met Scump for the first time. I saw him on Scrapyard playing for a team called Fear.
Fear? Like Team Fear?
Team Fear. Yeah.
Wait, Scump played for Team Fear? No, he fucking didn't.
Put it on anything.
No, he didn't. He played for Quanic.
Yeah, I promise you. Man, you're talking OG. You know what I mean?
So wait, time out. Are you telling me the Scump team with Moho?
Yeah, I don't know how long they were together, but yeah, 100%. 100%.
Fuck out of here.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Because they were running with people, because Fear was like our rival at the time, right?
Yeah.
It was pre the real Optic Envy, right? Pre that happening. This was like the baby rivalry.
Yeah. I was making videos while y'all were playing these competitive matches.
Bro, you know, when you got I don't want to get off topic, but when you got a gaming, like when you got into competitive esports, I hated you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I was so jealous.
What is there not to hate?
Oh, so jealous, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, it was because I was like, who are these guys coming in? You know what I mean? And you guys were killing it. It's not like you guys were bad, right? And then we were over here trying to like, well, we'd shit on them, we do this and that, but
for sure.
But you guys are just hustling, and that's looking back on those type of things. You go, fuck, like, what am I doing, man?
Yep.
So 2010, and that rolled into Eventually, I think, what was it, 2011 was Black Ops?
Yeah, I think to go back to that, I think I think I came on everyone's radar, or Optic came on everyone's radar when there was a voting on the forums to see who was going to be the spokesperson for Call of Duty and MLG.
Yeah.
And there was, I think, 3 people. It was, I think Stroll was definitely one of them. The other one was Nerve.
Oh, okay.
Right, and he came out of nowhere, obviously, but he had been competing and for a long time. He was like he was a level pro in Call of Duty 2. He was, I don't know, who cares? Bottom line is that we made a video to go vote for him, and sure enough, he fucking won. And still, they said, nope, like, he's not the guy. Like, Stroy is our fucking guy from a competitor. Like, all right. And that's when, like, the like, who the fuck is Optic? Happened.
Put on the radar. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the Tajes. I was watching because it was good for the space regardless. Even if I didn't know that, I was still like, this is sick. You know what I mean? Like what you were doing, and you kind of had like your own swag to your stuff. Right? Remember how awful our montages were, and like they were tragic, but like yeah.
What's fucked up about those days is that I had disposable income in which I could have afforded a good computer, but I knew nothing of capture cards. I knew nothing about anything. So for me, like I wouldn't even know where to look. There was no place to fucking Google this thing. So I tried like 3 different computers, like a big one, a small, like I tried everything and nothing worked. And when it finally did, like it was I think like the second half of Call of Duty 4, but it was such a pain in the ass to figure that out. Even when we did, like there was still a better capture card out there that would have been nothing to me to get. But yeah.
Did you get the PVR?
I did eventually, yeah.
That thing, I remember the footage on that. We're like, okay, now we got some.
Yeah, now we got some. I had to play, because if you're recording on a PVR, if I remember correctly, you had to play on 420p to record in HD. So all the good footage was going to, I don't know. It was a weird situation. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, man.
2010, Black Ops 1.
Okay, so 2010, into Modern Warfare 2, won a national championship. I think that's when, I don't know if you guys were Optic or Extravagant at that time.
4. We came in 4th here in Dallas.
Yeah.
The Hilton Adams. Oh, no, you guys didn't. No, Extravagant won.
Yeah, so Extravagant, so you guys won the...
We beat you guys, and I don't know if you were competing at the time, but Paul Magna was sitting behind you guys. And at that very moment is when he said, it just looks like a fucking green wall behind these guys. And it was just like the birth of the green wall.
That's so sick.
Fucking shout out Paul, my motherfucking brother Magna.
Yeah.
Eagle the Icon. God damn it. If you're watching, I doubt it. I love you, man. Miss you.
He's still around. I get it.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if he ever gets at you a little bit, but yeah. So I think what happened was 2010, there was an online national championship. We played you guys in Vverse, and it was just Xbox. That was the Xbox version. Then they flew people down for the first time for the PlayStation version. We had a completely different roster for our PlayStation team, right? So that's what happened. So I think we got you guys on Xbox, but it was online. So how much are we talking on it? Yeah,
it switched. It did switch, right? It was Modern Warfare 2 was on Xbox 360, and then they got that $300,000 a year deal with Sony. MLG did. I don't know if it's 300,000. I'm making that up, but that's when they switched over to that for 4 years, and it just stuck. We never went back to Xbox, and man, best controller
ever, man.
I beat the shit out of that controller, and it still worked forever. It was fine tuned. Yeah.
Once you broke it in,
man,
game over.
It was my shit. So you guys won a national championship on where? Which game?
2010 Xbox, and that was Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2, and then
that's a good one to win it on.
Yeah. Oh, it was, and you had the laser beam ACR. Like it was just it was a beast, right? And it made it easier for like SMG players like myself, and I was with Sharp.
MP5? No, 40? MP40?
Yeah, or the UMP. You have the UMP running
5
around.
or something. Yeah.
And with that, like we had Stainville or Tosh and Jordan Proofy. They would just hold down the ARs, and then Sharp and myself were just running back and forth lightweight. Yeah. And we were just capping flags. Easy when you got those kids just sitting on high rise or whatever it is.
Yeah. What was it like back then, right? From a prize pool perspective, like how much were you guys playing for?
18K. I'll never forget it. 18K when we won that national championship. That was the most I ever made at the time, and that was yet again split 4 ways. and then we're already in debt at the time in that house or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
But it felt good. And then that was yet again. You would just see the growth, right? You'd go from $400 to $600 to $900, right? And then to be there from the beginning was, people didn't get it once those $1 million words started getting thrown around and things like that. So.
Bro, I remember coming here to the Hilton Anatol. It was our first event ever. It was like, I think, December of 2010. First time I met Stro in person. First time I met Fwiz in person. First time I met Sonny in person. Brought him a jersey. I think I gave him a white one of the original jerseys. But I remember like walking up to them and saying, like, they were on air. And I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, yo, say something for because I'm about to because we're about to play. So I uploaded the video, and that's when Sundance is like, what is going on right there? Because it went from, I don't know, a couple of hundred to 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, and at the time, asinine. How the fuck?
Crazy.
League of Legends, fucking StarCraft, like they were doing those same numbers, but Call of Duty was not. So that's when Sundance immediately is like hit me up that same. It was like, yo, what? Like, tell me everything.
You brought a culture in. You brought a whole nother culture, and all you had to do was get them used to competitive. And I think that was harder at the beginning.
Yeah,
right, because you built yourself on.
Yeah,
but then when you did, man.
So we stayed in a hotel away from the venue. I don't know why. That was maybe it was cheaper, but I don't think I cared about that back then either. So I don't know why, but we picked it. I know why, because I wanted to come in on a fucking limo because I was a fucking psycho. I wanted to bring my players in on a limo to show that Optic was fucking cool, right? So I remember the way that I convinced JCap, the way that I convinced Rambo and all these big timer, and Nate had already got it because he was already like sort of playing with Predator, but I showed him my PayPal, and I'm like this. Look at what Machinima's paying me, and you can be a part of this. And it was like thousands of dollars, and they're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, from YouTube. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "From fucking YouTube."
That's
videos.
how it started.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I remember clearly we were all sitting there. It was a suite. It was big enough for everybody to hang out. I already had the game Black Ops 1 on deck on a modded Xbox.
You were that guy.
I already had it on there. We were posting pictures. Like, I was like, not only did I have the game ahead of time, but I also had proof that I can make a lot of money in fucking video games. And there was a different way to do it. And everybody was just like, I'm in. And that's how the good competitive side of Optic began.
I remember that, man. Nate was on. He was with this kid named Sabo forever. They were on some.
Yeah. Remember him?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, they were on some like some team together. I just remember they had like they're sponsored by. I don't know, but like that was Nate. That's all I knew, Nate. And then all of a sudden, when I saw him on Optic, it was like, oh, this is now the birth of competitive in Optic in some regard, right? Because he was then also making snipe videos, or like he was making just different type of content.
Snipers going ham.
Yeah. Yep.
With Predator. Yeah.
Love that.
And it was so like what I never understood, and I wasn't fearful of it, but I kept a close eye on it. I'm like, every single one of these pro players can fucking snipe like I can, and can make videos. No, 100%, because it's hand-eye coordination. I mean, look at Seth, right? Like, you put a sniper on any professional player, they're way better than any. You know what I'm saying? Than the majority of sniper only dudes at the time. Yeah, easily. So anyway, continue.
But I also do think that you got a skill set, right, from practicing it so much. Because I would be a fan of like Grizz, right? Like,
yeah, same.
You know, like those type of guys. So you would see like that different skill set in the spots and the way he would line himself up.
Yeah,
I think we lack that because we were in spawn trap mode. So yeah, we would still be able to get it. But ours would be like mass kill because it'd be like 3 people turning the corner, 4 things that might be harder to pull off with the sniper.
Yeah, we were all about aggressive sniping, right? Like fucking always running. Yeah, never camping. Be the hunter, not the hunted. Huntsman. You know where it came from.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we had it wasn't cornball and it wasn't cheesy. Like, I'll never be ashamed of that. But very early on, like I wanted to elevate the status of the cool of Optic by making these like, you know, sort of, I don't know. Everybody had their own thing. My brother had like the 4 horsemen. Like everybody had like a thing, and I was like, be the hunter, not the hunted. Yeah. We came up with the rules of the cross, the competitive sniping, so the first ever sniping team, and everything else. I mean, obviously, like it came from there, but
we stole it with envy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an evolution of that, right? Like, I think because we as a sniper team, we're just a sniper team on YouTube. You guys were a competitive team, but the second that we stepped into your realm, you guys were like, well, let's step into their realm, and boom, 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 boom.
Now those dudes are still like Pride, like all those dudes. Like, I remember we scooped out. I think we had Grizz. We had Grizz for a little bit. Yeah, like we tried to really build out that team, and it was like you have FaZe doing their thing, right? And at that time, that was when YouTube, in my opinion, was the best, because YouTube then was like competitive, right? But no one would really talk about it.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, I'm trying to do this or
that. Yeah, I don't know what the defining moment was for us, like still to this day, as to why we were the chosen ones to be like the popular, because we weren't necessarily the first YouTubers. I mean, Grizz had been making montages since Call of Duty 2. The reason that we started making montages and using the sniper was because, well, I mean, I always use a sniper. My brother always used a sniper, but we started making videos because of Grizz, right? Like, 100%. Yeah. So like we were just like, my brother's like, yo, fuck this competitive shit. Like, we're never gonna be a top 50. We're never gonna be on the front page of game battles. That's when Jay had just left because he got a girlfriend. That's when I took over the team. And obviously at the time, like, what is a team back then, right? Besides a group of people that agreed to be on the team. There was no LLCs. There was no money that was actually spent on the business. No taxes being paid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was none of that. So, because there was no money, right? But as soon as this became a thing, that's when my brother's like, yo, we should make, like, fuck all that shit. We should just make videos like Grizz. And I'm like, all right, let's start a sniping only team.
Good for you. Damn, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. You got to get Grizz on the podcast one day.
Massive.
Yeah, the godfather of sniping community for sure. Yeah. All right. So you and Stro finally, obviously, like, he's coaching. Everything's good. Continue.
So at this time also, man, like, I was getting big, right? Like, I was gaining mad weight because I went from being an athlete and being in like a program to just eating, bro. Just like, and then I remember we had a gunner COD LAN at the house, and I got everyone to go to the gym. Seth, Doug was
skinny at the point,
skinny guy at the time. Big timer, Merc. We all from the Gunner COD LAN went over to the gym together, and I was in the process of trying to lose weight, so I ended up losing like 117 pounds, 110 pounds. I don't know if you ever saw my before picture.
I think I have, yeah.
So after this, but ended up just focusing, and then competitive gaming started taking a hit because health kind of was priority to me, and then that's when I started falling into, well, also, damn, Virgin tournament. Remember the Virgin Mobile Battlefield tournament that never happened?
Yeah, that never happened. $1 million.
Still waiting on that.
Yeah.
So we all switched to try to play Battlefield for a little bit, and then we realized when we saw people flying those planes and helicopters, so we don't stand a chance, man. These guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when I started focusing on business, and I started going, like, I was placing like 14th, 12th, like, at these events, and it was weird going from like being always top 3 and like really killing it to just not having it as much. And I was teaming with people that I would always think I got the next dude, like I got the next proof, right? Because like when I found proof, it was the same thing. I was like, this guy's going to be something, right? Or it was always just find someone, build them up, put them in a system, and then kind of just cycle them out, right? And that's how we would build Envy. But it wasn't working the way I needed it to. And it was embarrassing for me to go to these events, and I was playing for random teams. Like I created like a fallacy team and just like random stuff. Then we made an Envy Black for a little bit there, Envy Black and Blue. Beat up on Tosh twice. I always give him a hard time for that one because nobody's on my team. But yeah, and then it was straight up to business. Then I moved up to New York from North Carolina.
So I want to hear about New York. Just give me a second. Let me say hello to Manscaped.com, which is the sponsor of today. And guess what? It's for 2022 Father's Day PPP 4.0 boxers. Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about Manscaped, right? Because Father's Day is just around the corner, and our friends at Manscaped are here to ensure that all of the fathers and father figures out there are looking like a daddy, like daddy material this June. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, which includes their signature Lawnmower 4.0, is a perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. No old man hair here, but for those of you who do, this is just for you. And I'm just not a hairy dude. My legs, you think that I shave? I don't. I wish I had more so I could use this Manscaped trimmer. Anyway, this is not a dad joke, by the way. Treat him and yourself and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. You get 20% off and free shipping with the code Eavesdrop. That's EAVESDROP at manscaped.com. And trust me, his dad bod will thank you. I'm definitely going to get my pops one of those. Not because I want him to get his groove back, but, you know, my man needs, everybody needs something. So I'm definitely getting that. I'll get him something else, but definitely this. Look, bottom line is this. Manscaped is designed with Father's Day in mind, and the Performance Package 4.0 is here just in time. And let me tell you what this thing includes. It includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant. Everybody needs ball deodorant. Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of these goodies. First off, let me start by saying that the Lawnmower 4.0 will be the official MVP on Father's Day. I can guarantee it. Does your dad use the same trimmer for his body and face? Let's throw that out the window, okay, and give him a little bit more luxury. Let's give him an upgrade that he deserves. But wait, time out. There's more. Manscaped just launched their brand new Boxers 2.0 that are, dare I say this? I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. The best boxers ever. We all know dads love their comfort. I do. With summer just around the corner, the Boxers 2.0 are here to save every father from the uncomfortable heat, the swass, as some people call it. Whether he's mowing the lawn, taking out the trash, not actually mowing the lawn, not actually mowing the lawn, but mowing the lawn outside. Whether he's doing that, taking out the trash, or golfing in the sun, these moisture-wicking boxers breathe without breaking a sweat. Dads, buy this for yourself, buy this for your sons, buy this for your grandfathers, buy this for you and your dad. Ladies, buy this for your man. Please buy this for your man. And dog daddies, you deserve a treat too. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code EAVESDROP. That's Eavesdrop at manscaped.com. I'll leave a link in the description to make it super easy for you to just click on the link, go over there, get 20% off when you type the code Eavesdrop at checkout. Free shipping at manscaped.com when you use code Eavesdrop. Shake what your mama gave you? Nah. Shake what your daddy gave you. Yeah. Again, 20% off plus free shipping, manscaped.com with code Eavesdrop. So, yes, thank you. A huge thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast yet again. We definitely use the cologne here in the Hex quarters because, you know, there's a bunch of dudes in here that just get steamed up, you know. Sometimes what's crazy about the Hex quarters, and you guys might not know this, and you might not, I just don't know this, but it's either freezing fucking cold or it is the hottest ever. And when it's the hottest ever, that's when, boy, I'm not here. I'm leaving. I'm not going to smell any. If you force me to smell your ball sack, we have a fucking problem. Okay, I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like, if you're just walking by me and I smell you, we have a problem. This ain't high school. No reason for that. So, again, shout out Manscaped for the cologne and obviously all the goodies that I received. All right, so you moved to New York. Yep. What was the plan there?
That was, so I was making montages at the time, right? And I was mixing in sponsor integrations. This is early, this is like 2012. And I was just trying to get paid a little bit on YouTube. So I was building a little YouTube channel, right? Doing that and then taking on these sponsor gigs. And then Energy Drink Gamma Labs obviously was reaching out, trying to get into the space. Remember those early days? I remember you were part of that original 15.
Yeah, the original Gamma Labs.
Yep. Yeah. You and I were on the first squad ever through Mason Cop, right? So he hit us up.
Neighbor. Yeah.
And then they didn't know what they were doing.
Did you go to the mansion? Elliot Broidy's mansion?
So once, and then the mission gunship, I didn't partake in. I don't know if you did. Remember that thing where they were like,
no,
shooting helicopters or something?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You did go to that?
But I didn't go to the. I shot a minigun out of a helicopter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's on the screen right here. I'm assuming that I found it and sent it to Matt, but I did, and I was hitting targets. And it's crazy is that there's no triggers. So all you push is a little red button, and it's just. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, man, I got in a helicopter. That would have been it for me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it was good. We had a ton of fun. I shot the bar there to Tannerite, blew that shit up. I was all about that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we went with a bunch of fans to that spot.
Yeah, fans, and then there was winners of some tournament or something like some competition.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. It wasn't fans. It was winners of competition.
Yep. Yeah. And then, so I went up there and then eventually kind of wanted to introduce them into more of a gaming space, right? Because at the time they were trying to sling like a a pre-workout, some creatine in there. It wasn't really the healthiest
Yeah,
thing.
but wasn't there like wasn't Gamma for that? Wasn't Gamma Gamers? Like I know it doesn't exist anymore.
So Gamma Labs they were trying to do an extension, right? So Gamma Gamers got created, and then eventually Gfuel popped out.
Yep.
Popped out of that mix. And then that was kind of like because at the time, like a lot of the people that we were signing were just friends, right? I didn't know that it came with deal structures and things like that. So it took a little bit to learn. And then that was what's crazy about it is like in the grand scheme of the marketing world, at the same time, like you would have fitness companies like Shreds doing promo codes, commission codes. That's where the birth of the promo code was at the time. That was genuine influencer marketing at the time.
Yeah.
And then, did that for 4 or 5 years, kind of helped build that brand up a little bit. And then decided to get into a weird thing. I don't even know if I told you. You know that I work for a sunroom company too?
A what?
Yeah. So
what?
It's crazy.
A sunroom?
Still to this day, sunroom, like, outdoor living stuff?
No.
Weirdest thing, man. So I was looking for my next thing, and I knew I needed a holdover at the time. And I was like, I've proven that I can market in this world, right? How do I market, or how do I prove to myself that I can hit like the demographic of 40 to 70? That's gonna be a little bit harder. So I took a job as the chief creative director over at this company, Four Seasons Sunrooms, and I was learning about like outdoor living stuff. And I did that, but what's cool is I brought all my creatives with me. So they pay for the whole team. They're like, hey, we want to build our stuff up. It killed it, still killing it to this day. And it's one of those things now where it's just like,
so you're still operating that?
Still operating that.
Well, explain to me. What is that? What is it?
So let's say you want like a outdoor living extension on your home. Things I knew nothing about, right? So like pergolas, patio covers, crazy stuff, right?
I want that.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
So you're still in that? Because I was just thinking, okay, we'll talk
get you a discount, but they got like crazy things. You press buttons, heaters pop out, coolers pop out, mist systems, like So, man, and I did it not because I have an interest in that, nor did I care, nor do I care. They know that, but I love marketing, right? So I needed to prove, hey, I got to learn different demographics of marketing and actually just put the money where the mouth is, because I didn't have formal education on it. So it was like the best way to do it is learn, right? And if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail on someone else's dime. I told them that straight up, and that was what it was. So still to this day, now they're like more of a client of Crowns, but it was something I had to do myself. And then that's what started like the birth of Control and Crowns and all those other things.
Well, I mean, let's not skip through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. It's not just something that you like you built and currently building like some pretty cool shit. You know what I mean? So tell me about. Let's start with Paper Crowns and then the evolution of Paper Crowns into the products that you're selling.
Yeah. So, dude, we would go to like do all these launch activations with like different influencers at my previous jobs and stuff, right? Or even at Envy, we would do like skits and things like that. And then I started realizing like I need to get an LLC. I need to learn how to create my own business and formally own this thing myself, right? So did that, and then Paper Crowns was born, but it was built off the back of 7 years of friendships from international people. So we got 32 members deep now, all over the world. I've known a lot of them over like 5 to 7 years. From when I'm talking like website build outs to motion, and they were all on the come up as well, and like they're nasty, bro. Like our team over there, you know what I mean? Like I know you know creative and you take it serious. That's one of the things that I do as well, right? Like it's not like you just pick some people up and say, hey, we're gonna use you to make some money. That's not what we do here. So it's like that meant a lot. So we started Paper Crowns, and then we actually, when we started, we pretended that we were a little bit better than we were. We thought we knew what we were doing. We did a Huntsman piece for you. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
We couldn't get it on point. It wasn't.
You couldn't get it on time.
Yeah, on time or on point, in my opinion. If you would see that what we got now, man, it's like night and day. Like our CGI efforts are crazy. Like we take this. It was a lot of smoke and mirrors at the beginning. Hey, we're this good, or even maybe a little bit.
I wouldn't say smoke and mirrors. I would say more acting as if you were. You know what I mean? Which is there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors is something different, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And like having that company and then starting to get these clientele, right? It was no ad spend, no marketing, no anything. So it was just people in the community coming to us. Then we started building brands.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started realizing like the pay side of it, right? So when I was at that sunroom company, I had a chance to build this VitaPod. It's a company. It's still on the market right now. It was like a machine drink. They were trying to be the Keurig of cold drinks.
Mm.
Yeah. So basically, I got a chance to build like CAD files. So it was a little bit of like the engineering side, seeing that, and then charging real top dollar for building a full brand. And that's what kind of meant a lot to me at the time. And then we landed a couple contracts with Activision.
How did that work? You just reach out?
Word of mouth. They hit us up because of the software that they saw us make a pick 'em bracket. right?
Yeah.
Yep. So we got in with them. Overwatch. The craziest thing when I knew Paper Crowns was turning like hitting the turning point was when Shopify hit us up. They said we want to make a gaming team called Rebellion. So we made the identity, really dove into the motion piece, and then
Shopify has an esports team.
yeah, the Shopify
Had or has?
has the Shopify CEO is big into Dota. I think it was Dota. So he jumped into Dota. It's called Rebellion. So that took off. And then right now we got UFC as a client, doing some serious stuff in the space, right? And that meant a lot. And then I look around the space and I don't see a lot of agencies that are crushing. I see teams, right? But you can't take like an Optic or a 100T and compare it to agency life because you're focusing on one entity or the entities in that. And that's why this space still to me is kind of frustrating because it's like, separate those guys. Like that they're not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like those teams need to battle for that top creative spot. Let the agencies battle, right? Because that's kind of how we've been feeling it lately.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we talked about that a little bit offline. I've never been that and you and I talk about this extensively, right? As a creative, like I can't see myself ever like obviously the stuff that we can't do internally, like the CGI stuff that we need to help with you, the website stuff, like we'll go to you for that. But like everything else from design top to bottom is like out of this brain and Omen's like putting it into the thing. And it's more about the culture and I just like things a certain way. And because it's worked so well, I cannot just let go of that. So every single piece of merch, and I'm saying, specifically like in these current days, like as we're sort of restarting like that business again, right? From the merch side, like for me, it's always been about creating stuff that I would want to wear, and not what all the current hype is like, going on. So like I don't want to compete against other esports organizations in this thing. Like I want to compete against the undefeateds, against the bodegas, against like people that I admire personally. I've been working in streetwear. I don't even call it streetwear. I've been working in 90s fashion. That's what I'll call it. In 90s fashion since high school. I worked at an apparel store called Unlimited Gear in Ranhurst Mall in Mount Prospect, selling Mecca, Fubu, PMB, 555 Soul, like the Echo. Shit that Echo, a little bit of Echo. Echo I liked in the beginning,
okay,
because of Mark Echo, the graffiti, like it was all graffiti based, and I was a graffiti writer, still am a graffiti writer, but actually I'm not, because I don't paint on the outside, I only paint on the inside, so I'm not a graffiti writer. At heart, I am,
Does that count as a different medium, just so I can learn?
Yeah, yes and no. Like graffiti to me as a 90s purist, and I argue with all my graffiti friends who feel otherwise, right? This is just one man's opinion on it. If it's not on the street, it's some bullshit. No, I'm kidding. I was quoting Full Fit Larry there. But look, if it's not on the street, it's not graffiti, right? What I do is more of like, I don't know how to explain it. And like if it's on paper, like you're not a graffiti writer until you're painting on fucking walls and like risking something for it. It's a competitive sport. Graffiti is.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So I did that, and then from there, what else? Where else did I work? I think Mr. Rags was like another. Oh no, I didn't work at Mr. Rags, but I painted all of the pillars in a streetwear store in Woodfield Mall, which is the bigger mall.
How old are you?
I'm 21 at the time, I think. Yeah, because I just started dating Jude. But I painted that. So I've always been like super like involved externally in streetwear and everything that is. So everything that's 90s is like my shit. Like I will never not dress the way that I dressed in high school. So when little fucking noobs, dweeb McGeekies fucking say, it's like, yo, you're fucking 40, why are you dressing like that? I'm like, first of all,
people say that?
Oh yeah. No, not just, like I said, just like the dweeby McGeekos, right? They're like, you're 40, you shouldn't be dressed like that. And I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna dress the way I fucking want to dress. Secondly, it's just you like this. We dress like that. I'm like, you dress in the way that I've seen what you're wearing right now. I've seen 3 times go in and out of style. 3 times.
But our come up also when, let's say we're 20, 25, 40-year-olds weren't listening to music we're listening to either, right?
No.
It's just generational shifts. So we just got to get used to that.
Yeah, but apparel, like I can't let go of that, right? Like it's not something that I'm willing to do, right?
I couldn't see.
Yeah, especially now where like I get to do whatever I want, or especially for the last decade that I've gotten to do whatever I want, how I want to do it. Like I travel with the team because I own a team and I want to see my team win. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, or I'm not saying that people that stay home is that they don't care as much as I do. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I personally want to be involved with my team as much as I can from start to finish. Anything that goes out goes through me. Every tweet that goes out goes through me. Every video, every thumbnail, every title, we all discuss it as a team. But I get to look at it because
that Maple Leaves crew neck.
Yeah. So big fan. Yeah, you know what's crazy about that is that what's crazy about that is that I went out there looking for a Maple Leafs jersey in the same colorway. So I wanted the navy blue one with the gray Maple Leafs, but they didn't have it. The one that they did have that would have matched my 85 Georgetown, Jordan 1s that I was wearing, it just didn't have it. And they had one, but it had an Adidas logo in the back. And I'm from the 90s, so you can't perpetrate. You can't put Nike and Adidas together the same way that you can't put fucking a Gucci belt and wear a Louis Vuitton. My thing. You're right. I'm not. Don't do it. I'm going to judge you, but you don't have to follow my rules. Okay, these are 90s rules. So I'm like, fuck. I almost gave up, and then I looked at the sweater, and I'm like, wait a minute. I look, and I'm like, that shit's fucking dope. I look, it says champion on it, so I'm like, man, that's doable. I pull it off, and I just hold it up next to me. I'm like, this is it, XL, let's go. And it became like a thing. Like people were fucking like, everyone loved it. Yeah. If you went out and bought one, let me know, because that crew neck is dope. And I bought it at Real Sports right next to the arena, or in the arena where they play in Toronto. Beautiful city, by the way. Like one of my never been, but I fell in love with it immediately.
Wait,
man.
First time?
Yeah, first time in Toronto. Yeah, in the 6. Fell in love with it. Like it what a place. What a place. Anyway, so where I was going with that, we were talking about your agency, Paper Crown. So let's bring it back to that. You won a bunch of awards. You worked with what seems to me now like 100 companies by now. More?
Over 500.
Over 500 companies, like in actual companies.
Companies. Now, so like you have your stream packs and stuff.
Of course.
But that's just kind of like you get to have creative flexing, right? Mm-hmm. So like those are just fun. Like a Pomage hits us up. He has like a skull thing going on.
Yep.
We get to have fun with that. But now, a lot of different companies got a chance to build some serious brands too for people, and that's always fun because we'll see our stuff just being sold. A lot of places, from packaging design to websites and those things. It's been a ride, man, and I'm thankful for that one too, because you start to get like acquisition merger talks, and it's like no, like you don't.
You're not ready for that.
Talked about it so many times. Numbers have been crazy, especially from where I came from. But it's just like one of those. You got people to take care of, and this more than anyone. It's not always about just, hey, let's capture money. It's about, hey, I got some people to take care of that are.
Well, now I know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and it's one of those things, man. So we've considered, we've thought about it. It'd have to be the right partner, and all of them won't want to get rid of the essence of what it is, right? And that's the hardest thing.
That is the hardest thing.
Yeah,
the hardest thing about acquisitions and mergers or M&As is the fact that I don't know how to say this without making it seem like I'm talking about something that is optic related.
Oh, yeah.
Although it was at one point, it's not what it is in this current state. So I guess I prefaced with that. But processes that optic has is way better than anything else out there. Period, because we do everything in-house and we have a small team. So getting to profitability for me was an easy thing because I always hired people who are passionate about the stuff that they do. Matt loves this shit. Matt loves building these fucking setups. Like, that's not part of his job, but he loves doing it, so he gets an opportunity to do that. Roger, he is not a fucking camera guy or an editor. He's a full on creative dude whose art form is documentaries. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when you hire those people who are passionate and they're just the way that I see it is, if what you love to do is your job or your means to make good paper, then everybody wins, because you get to express yourself on something that you were going to be doing for fucking free regardless. but you get to get paid for it. That's the people that I hire. If you can't do 3 fucking jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs, you're not my guy.
You get hungry guys too. Like your squad's killers, man. Like I look around at who you get by you and who they are, and you know their growth. That's what I love. So shout out man on his growth, because I've been watching from the beginning there as well. And same with Roger. I used to go to the TK days when he was living in that little. I don't know if you see Roger, but he was living in like this little room,
no door,
no door room. Yeah, you know. So and I saw him and Hitch, man. I used to hire him again. Like him and I were traveling to Gamma events in Nashville and things like that. So like. I've seen your come up and who you get, and I just love how passionate they are for you, and that's something that you got to give yourself credit on too, right? Because that leadership role and the way that you see things and your vision, I don't know if that gets enough love, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm serious because it all starts somewhere. Right?
I'm gonna tell you what it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't get love, because I love it and I talk about it and it sounds braggadocious, which I am sure, but I'm not gonna look if I'm doing something cool. I'm gonna talk about it, and if it sounds braggadocious, then that's someone else's problem. Right. It's like this is my reality, and I love me a little bit of me. You know, people call me, you know, self-centered and egomaniac. Yes, all of the above.
I've never heard any of that.
No.
I'm in different circles, man.
Yeah, that's also true.
All positives.
Yeah, thank you for that, because it is, you know, trying to keep this thing going the way that we run shit is not an easy task, because everybody wants something and everybody deserves that something. Yep. So to figure out how to make everybody deserve that something is, you know, is the way to be. The other thing is like, again, we do everything in house. So like, I know we were talking about your Esports Award trophy and how it's like, you know, it looks like oxidized like this one.
Yeah.
Like those, when they do like esports creative team of the year or creative piece of the year, I think that the Esports Awards need to look at who the fuck came up with that idea and who executed it. Yeah. Because every single, like we've never hired, again, I have no problem with this, but we've never hired every commercial, everything that we've ever done, we've done with the people that are fucking in the HECZ quarters. There's never been no external help. There's never been no external creative. There's never been anything. Our apparel, everything is done indoors. Last year, every single piece of merch was created right or on, like you walk to the House of Outdoors or next door when they used to be next door right here. Like, again, I take pride in that because it's like my thing, and why wouldn't I want to be involved in every single aspect of it, which is why I think that gives me a leg up on everybody fucking else, because no one, I mean it, no one is as involved with their team, and I can prove it, goddammit. I mean, if somebody is at this level, let me know. But every piece of merch comes from this side of the brain.
This was the HECZ I was hoping to bring out, by the way.
Yeah,
I was hoping to get you hyped.
No, I mean they've seen this, right?
Yeah.
They've seen me. But the from the creative standpoint, like everything that we do, it's like creator of the year. Well, what is a creator, right? What is a creator, right? Yeah. Because I edit my own vlogs and I vlog. Right, I am on every single one of most of our podcasts. Oh. So I again, you know, I do a lot, and I take pride in the fact that I do a lot. And you know,
those awards are hard for people to get back to back. It's hard for people to win anyway, because like you look at like the NBA, right? It's a little bit easier to do an MVP. You know what I mean? Like still can get difficult, right? Yeah. But here it's like there's so much to it. And then also I think that the agency needs to be separated from the team, because there's so many teams pumping out good stuff, but you don't know what's real. And shout out to white labeling, because I've done a lot of it, right? Yeah. So like there's a lot of stuff that we've done that people don't know about for a lot of teams in this space, and that's okay, right? I'm not trying to shoot myself in the foot, but it's hard. It's hard to clear, you know?
Yeah. So again, like it doesn't matter if we partner with Nike, if we partnered with Kellogg's, like we would come up with the concept because we have the relationship with them. So for them to try to envision how this communication has worked for the last decade, impossible. So, and again, like I'm a creative person. I hang out with creative people. I have a good creative circle. Toxic for sure, but you know, it's a good creative circle. And I mean toxic on the villains side, right? Not on here. But yeah, like this is that. And you know what's crazy is that for the most part, I appreciate everybody that's won creative of the year, like deserves it, because you know art is subjective and everybody deserves to to win something. But like I say every single time, at the end of the day, whether you win an award or not, you still created something, and that's the something that you play for. The creation of something is what you play for. All the awards and all the money and all that shit, like that's secondary to me.
Has to be, because you're gonna let yourself down all day, right? Like if you're living on the opinions of other people.
Cannot.
It's not a healthy way to live.
I can't.
I did that for a little bit too, right?
Did you?
Have you ever had those moments in your life?
Nah.
Where you thought you should have got something that you did, right? That the whole like world owes you something moment.
Yeah, I think once when we were doing the optic the first sale and we were looking for investment, I thought that the Cowboys should have gone with us, right? And I'm no shot at complexity, like Jason Lake's my brother, but you know, the biggest franchise in the world at the time with the biggest franchise in the world would have been like a good thing to do. But yeah, like aside from that, like awards and all that stuff, like not really, man. Like the awards, the voted awards, like those are all the GREENWALLs. Like everybody that watches this, those are the awards that they get to compete for us, the way that we compete for them for, you know, traditional competitions.
Love that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. You and I can sit here and talk about creative shit all day long. So let's move on. All right. So Paper Crowns obviously killing it. At what point did CTRL come in as a concept into like your head?
Yeah. So coming from the energy drink world, that's like an easy play that people were trying to pair with the gaming world. I got so sick of it, right? Because it's like at the end of the day, it's still an energy drink, and then I just lost passion. But there was a meal replacement lane that not only in the gaming world, just the world in general. And I wanted to pay homage to our community no matter how big it got. And I didn't want to pigeonhole ourselves to just be this one brand. So Control was born, built off the keyboard, right? Obviously catered to real life. So with that, it was CTRL, catered to real life as the brand. And then when we were doing like the ideation of the logo, like for the logo mark, it was a traditional box, but shift your lifestyle a little bit. And we want to own healthier, right? So we came out with a meal replacement product. And man, it cost so much to start at the beginning. Like if I would have made a protein, it would cost about $7 to make. A lot of people don't talk about how much the products cost to make. I'm very transparent in all of it. Yeah. Everyone's got to make money and do their thing. But I'm not making a glorified protein because we're from the world where you have to survive the test of Reddit. I didn't want someone going on Reddit and saying like, oh, dude, this is a glorified protein shake, because it's not. So we put like MCTs in there. We put probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes, BCAAs, a lot of the stuff I knew our community would not care about. Well, not all of them, but a lot of people. And then with what we have coming up, like we have we're shifting to functional foods and these type of things. And I think it's not only a lane that's being missed in our space, but it's also a lane where people just don't seem to care, right? Like, and if we can start to get healthier, like in my opinion, we're competing against DoorDash's, Uber Eats, because you start loading up those apps and find out how much you spend in a month, right? For a lot of people in our community, you go, wow. You know what I mean? Or I can get a meal for under $2 here if I'm buying this and that. And that's the space that we wanted to own. Sundance hit me up, wanted to make an energy drink. And then I was like, no way.
One that his sons can consume with maybe,
yeah. I said, no way in hell. I was like, sorry, Sundance. And then he was at the pool. I think we were on FaceTime, and he goes, you got to do it. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, but I got something for you. So I told him the brand, showed him the rollout, sat with 2 designers for about 6 to 7 months, sourced from packaging to ingredients to manufacturers, distribution outlets, the whole 9.
Trial and error.
Yeah, yep. The R&D process for me is the best part, because that's the same stuff. You don't get glorification for it, right? Like no one knows that you put a lot into an R&D on a product or whatever that is. But to me, it's like the people around you know. And then when you see that thing come to life, and like for us, we had like over, I think it was like 1 million, like 1.5 million meals sold or something like that. And that's good for where our brand is at. Yeah, so that's the inception of CTRL or Control.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What was your approach in the beginning, like from a marketing perspective? Like obviously you did a lot of outreach, and you got Seth as an owner, Sensor, big personality, said, because and you know what's crazy about that is that Seth would never ever do a deal like that. Yeah. So when he was amped about this one, like I'm like, all right, it's got to be like a real deal thing.
So I started looking at CPG brands were exiting at 150.
CPG,
consumer packaged goods brands, right? My fault. So those brands, a lot of them were exiting at like 150 million, 250 million. And I was like, if I'm sitting here just focusing on an exit, this is something I want to be a part of. And then I started looking at some brands that really weren't special, that had a good influencer following. I knew what influencer marketing 1.0 was. Right. And to me, that was like promo codes, commissions. Then 2.0 was, hey, we're going to start paying people. Right. So people are getting paid these huge monthly deals. Life is good. Sharing products they like and sharing things like that. 3.0 is equity. I wanted to get ahead of that because I knew it was coming. And it was one of those things. Who do I know? Who do I trust? And Seth was on the board. Seth was the first person, I think, outside of, I think we hit up Courage at the time as well. But Seth was literally, I think he was the first person I said. And the reason that was because Seth's story where he came from, it kind of resonated with me a lot. And I never really told him that. I should probably tell him that, you know. But I was like, hey, there needs to be something long-term ownership-wise for you. And I don't know what his personal life was like at the time, but it was like, own this, let's get a deal right. Let's really spread a positive message.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we've been doing. But it was my fault for the first year and a half, because I didn't I was so focused on the other sides of the brand, right? Like just, it wasn't really focused on Seth as much as I would have wanted. But now it's like, I'm kind of getting stoked because there's some products that I know that he's even more amped on and kind of gassed up with. So
yeah. Super, super good. What else? What else are you working on? Obviously, you got CTRL. Like me, you just can't sit.
Yeah,
you just can't sit around.
Mess around in the dog space for pets. Trying to come out with something there. Got some things to talk to you about later. Pretty cool stuff. And just investing, right? Shout out Pine Park. Super stoked on that.
Yeah,
big
thank
investment.
you.
Yeah,
welcome.
Love it. And just kind of dabbling around in like some of the investment side of it, seeing where I can help on the creative side with those investments.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is just building. Like,
what do you see in the cannabis industry?
Oh man, I see. So I fell in love with the cannabis industry from a packaging perspective 5 years ago, 6 years. I thought they were light years ahead. Packaging and then female makeup, right? I would walk through the lanes just to look at packaging.
Yeah.
Right. I'm obsessed. And I don't care what anyone says, those lanes were killing it. Right. From the edibles to whatever it was. But I see a future that's exciting. Right. I see a lot of crazy things coming out, and I think whoever can get ahead of like the anything that happens on a federal level, it's gonna be you know, there's rocket ship ready.
All you have to do right now is exist.
Yeah.
In that industry,
float around.
You know, yeah. And if you're like Pine Park, who you know where we're actually fucking making waves, like. You know, what I love about the cannabis industry also is that everybody's so welcoming. They understand. Like if YouTubers early on understood this, we would be so much farther along, or we would have gotten to where we're at today 5 years ago, right? From a collaborative standpoint, because there's plenty for everybody. Like the thing that I've learned in my 42 years of life is that somebody else's business and somebody else's moves don't interfere with yours. Like literally, like you may think and see people as competitors, but they're not, you know, like they're just doing their business. And yeah, there's going to be certain like friction areas in some cases, but little to none. So for me, it's something that I've learned, something that I try to teach, something that I try to like ingrain in the people that I know, that it's not, you know, it's other people's successes don't mean that you're failing, and other people's failures don't mean that that's going to be also you.
How long did it take you to learn that?
Real talk, man. Probably like when I sold Optic. Yeah, when I sold Optic, the thing that came because nothing like it. I don't know how I feel about that, because you know I got a lot of money, yeah, but my life didn't change at all. Like I used it. I mean, when Guggen got their investment, one of the concerns was that the creators were going to immediately like stop creating, and I'm like, nah. They're going to use whatever money they have to continue to, because these are the people that are going to do this for free. They've been doing it for free. I was doing it for free for so fucking long. And what I mean by free is that I was paying bills, but I wasn't splurging on shit. I'll buy my shits. I'll buy some here and there, but I wasn't splurging on anything, right? It was the beauty about creators is that they're always going to create, and that's a safe bet to always make. So backing a YouTuber, it's always a safe bet for me, because I mean, it very rarely are you going to. I mean, look at Good, right? Like Good's been creating golfing videos for a long time just because they want to. Fishermen in my Guggen people, like they've always been fishing and creating videos for it no matter what. Like money had nothing to do with it at the beginning, and it has nothing to do with it when the money doesn't matter anymore because there's so much of it. So that's something that I've learned for sure.
I love that you got in that lane. You inspired me a little bit too with the control brand. So I started reaching out to Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, and this was literally like early on, because like where my parents were living, they were like hanging up deers after they would go hunting and things like that. Really small town at the time, and you know I didn't see any products existing when those hunters were going in the deer stands or those fishes were going out. So that's kind of an active lane. So we set control to be in these 5 lanes, right?
Yeah.
One of them hip hop with Rick Ross. Crazy, man. Built out my DM. I literally DM'd him one day. He said, "Come to Miami." I was in the plane. like literally.
Well, tell me about that.
Dude, crazy. So I hit up Mark Cuban, still got him.
Yeah.
I just started going on a DM spree. I was like, I'm gonna do 5 a day. I'm gonna do it for a week. I'm not gonna be the guy that's doing more than that because then I'm turning into a weirdo.
Yeah.
I was like, so I'm gonna do 5 a day to people that I look up to, that I admire, that I think would help benefit from the brand. They all got back the first 2 days. Jack Harlow, literally, he's like, cinnamon toast is gas, love it, right? So we share the tweets sometimes, try to gas that a little bit. Rick Ross randomly DM'd him, literally DM'd him, and he goes, what do you say? He's like, so what's really gonna happen, big dog, or something like that. And then I was like, what? And he goes, contact my manager, contacted her, sent him product, and he was losing weight at the time as well. He was using the product, loving it, and then all of a sudden flew me to Miami, or I flew down to Miami, and then Sonny came. We showed up to Rick Ross's house, and
Compound.
Yeah. Well, no, so this is the Miami house. The compound is Atlanta.
Yeah.
That thing, man. Sonny maybe had a little bit too many mimosas in the morning. We walk up, he's wearing some goofy Sonny outfit that we love to death. And the door, he swings the door open, slams against the wall. We're talking huge glass doors, like cathedral doors, loud noise. And you see Rick Ross and his manager walk around the corner. Sundance goes, what's up? And I'm just like, no, man. But we ended up just chatting with him. And then he got behind the brand. He put us on his NASCAR recently. He's put it on his softball field. I think he's building a zoo. Like, dude's crazy with what he's doing. But he's getting behind a product that we have coming out real hard, and he's gonna have like one of his own like little signature things, and random stuff.
Who? No one. I mean, I obviously know Sundance. You've known him. I mean, but we've known him for. I've yet to meet a person that doesn't like Sundance, but I know that there is people out there because, you know, to be at that level, there's some casualties, you know, some burned bridges here and there. But I've never. Like I told you, you know, I can't say no to Sonny on anything that he has. That's my guy. So that's how can you be mad at him?
Yeah, he's infectious. That's actually what came up with the Pine Park stuff. He was like, yo, Scott, what are you doing? I got something for you and things like that, right? So got in contact with Max and you and started doing that thing.
Yeah. Shout out Sonny, man. And Sepso too. I can't forget my man Sepso.
He just hopped in on control investment too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Got a good one there.
Yeah, haven't heard. We used to text a lot more than we do nowadays, but I just figured that he's busy. I'm busy. Obviously, it goes both ways. I haven't texted him in a while.
Yeah.
Let me see. The last time I got a text from him. Holy fuck! Look at all these calls.
Those are the eyes of an entrepreneur, bro. You look at your phone like after a little bit.
Yeah, man. You know how it goes. Let me see.
Yeah.
Sepso. November 4th. November.
Oh, you got to shoot him a text.
Wait, November? No, this can't be right. I've spoken to him for sure. What month are we in right now? This is November 2020.
This is June.
This is June, so like almost 6 months since I've last texted him. Let me see my DMs. Actually, I'll go through it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up immediately after this and be like, "Yo, are we good?"
Yeah.
A bit busy dude. All right, so obviously you got investments going on. Any new projects that you're?
Yeah.
What's another hole in the industry or otherwise?
Globally, like something I'm getting super into is 3D printed food. Has nothing to do with our space or anything, but I'm really messing around with it.
3D printed food.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Yeah, we talk about shortages in the world and things. So I met with a couple engineers, mechanical engineers, and people that are making a lot of products, some industrial stuff. But it's a market that really intrigues me for the future because I think that
What is it?
basically you could 3D print foods. There's a lot of different stuff out there. There's people, there's people out there printing some things now.
Edible?
Yeah, fully edible. Yep. They focus on desserts at some gourmet restaurants in New York. I met up with a couple chefs up there, found out like what they're doing. But this is a $1 billion industry, so if anyone's trying to compete, come at it. But it's things that I'm just passionate about. And yeah, I told you about the doggy stuff and
Yeah, the dog stuff is obviously like I have a lot of them, so that's always a thing with me and the wife, right? Like I think Sundance was talking to Jude about investing like early on in the food thing that you guys were doing.
Thankfully, we didn't do that one, but yeah, we built it.
Yeah,
we gave that one away.
Yeah,
So,
Well, thank God.
Thank God, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, we didn't invest in it for a reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wonder what it was. Anyway, any closing comments, man? I appreciate you coming on. What do you got going on in Dallas? Why are you here?
Shooting with Seth a little bit later, probably a couple hours from now. Doing some control skits and commercials, like little light stuff. Yesterday, shot with actually Baca. So bringing Baca onto control, super hands on that. And then other than that, hanging out with you a little bit. Hopefully,
Hell yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah, I'll be around for sure. Well, everyone, all of his information will be linked in the description down below. Please be sure to check it out. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and hit him up on Twitter, right? Twitter's the best way. Mine too. But yeah, brother, thank you so much, man. It's been a long time coming. Finally got around to it. Yeah. So glad that we got it in the can. Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the episode, share it with someone. Subscribe if you haven't. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm on a quest like every other YouTube who hasn't hit 1 million to hit 1 million, and we are, I think, 38,000 away, Matt, something like that, around 38,000. So if you know 38,000 people that have a YouTube channel, why don't you tell them to subscribe to your friend right now? Shout out to Manscaped again for sponsoring the podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.